Hello everybody and welcome back here on BallinCraig Estate. We're starting out with a view down on the farm. In the last episode we had the summer fair and quite a few of you actually took part in voting on what should happen. The young man was given an offer to basically be able to sell the farm at the end of the year for £600,000, or he could choose to fight on. Now I'm happy to say that you all voted unanimously the same way of what is going to happen. So today we are going to see what the outcome of that vote was. And we start out with a car arriving to BallinCraig Estate. There's a sharp knock on the door and the young man springs away. Oh my god. He's had his blackout curtains rolled down and his head is thumping. He stayed way too long at the bar last night at the summer fair. Trevor and Helen and a few folks from the village. They kept on going into the small hours, and now, oh my god, what time is it? There's somebody on the door. The young man quickly throws on some clothes and stumbles out through the house. He half falls out the door and sees, there you are, shouts Henry from the truck. I came to deliver a little arrangement. The young man looks frazzled, his hair sticking out in all directions. Henry, thank you so much. What can I do? Well, you can help unload this thing. I gotta get back and take delivery of our new front loader. Okay, shouts the young man and desperately tries to shake his head and get awake and figure out how even, let's see, how to get in. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, okay, he says. Here? Henry just laughs. It's like, okay, I'm not in that much of a hurry. Work it out, and I'll lower the ramps. The young man climbs into the skid steer, the bobcat here, and looks around, manages to get it started, and okay, that's that control. Wow, he's really struggling just to wake up and okay, I reverse it like this now. Careful. This is only a loan, he reminds himself. But he gets it down. Okay, he says, I think I got it now. Henry grins. There's also a bale spike for you, but I reckon you needed the shovel for the cattle. Thank you, shouts the young man, and quickly zooms over to drop off the shovel to begin with, so he can get the bale spike collected as well, because that's really the thing they need for today with some baling work. But the cattle also need a bit of attention, and it's already quite late in the day. He can't believe he's been sleeping this long, but nonetheless, memories are starting to return from yesterday at the summer fair in the small hours. Him and Trevor talking about the grand plan of how they're going to rescue the farm and everything like that. The young man shakes his head. I wonder if Trevor made it to work. He was supposed to be there today, he thinks. Oh dear. Henry doesn't seem to waste any time in getting the ramps up. I'd stay and help, he says, but I gotta get back. The young man brings in the bobcat and waves at Henry with a smile. This at least means they can start recovering things again. Henry simply honks his horn and grins and heads off again. He's obviously in a hurry this morning. They also took delivery of new machinery after the summer fair, and it sounds like it's getting delivered perhaps straight from the fair. The young man practices a little bit to try and work out how this bale spike works, and realizes it can actually reach quite high. Might still be able to stack 2 layers of bales on their trailer when it gets to that bit, but this is fantastic. Haha, he grins to himself. We're back in the game, but oh man, oh, my head is still thumping. Oh, I gotta feed the animals. I gotta get the baling done. Okay, calm down, he says to himself. Trevor will deal with the animals when he comes back. They're doing fine. There's plenty of water. There's feed in the trough. I'll go and get a glass of water, and then I'll get on with the baling. It's not long after before the young man hops onto Massey Ferguson, which is now one of 2 tractors on BallinCraig Estate. He still hasn't heard anything absolutely concrete from Mike about the state of the front loader tractor, but it really didn't sound too good. But at least they got the round baler, because after pressing small bales on the first field, the young man now needs to move these bales up into the shed further up the road, so it really would be handy to be able to shift larger round bales instead. So although the sun seems really bright today, and his head's still a bit sore, he's got a nice big cold bottle of water with him, and he heads down to the field. It's amazing to think that yesterday the roads here were crowded with traffic for the summer fair, and today everything simply seems to be back to normal. Even the field up at the back seems to have pretty much been cleared completely. Everybody has left, everybody has brought things back. But he curses himself a little bit for having spent so much of the day simply sleeping. Really should have been out here first thing in the morning, but there was quite a bit in the bale already when he did this. But he gets started on picking up the straw. And so, with a tired body but still determined mind, the young man sets to getting the field baled. This shouldn't take too long, he thinks. The young man is getting close to being finished with the field when he suddenly notices that Trevor has shown up. Hops off the tractor, leaving it running. "Trevor, how are you doing?" he says. "Oh, laddie, my head still feels like a bag of hammers, and I've been to work already for 5 hours, while you've been snoozing away, but I can see you got started at least. That's something." "Oh yeah," says the young man, "and there's more to it than that. Henry came by. He's dropped off the bobcat. We can get the bales lifted. We're back in business." He grins. "I'm gonna get on with the baling. Why don't you go and relax for a bit? I'll bring the tractor up, and if you don't mind helping with the trailer, I think I can run the bobcat and get the bales loaded." "Okay," says Trevor. That sounds like an idea, laddie, but I need to check on the animals, so I might give that bobcat a go. No time for rest. Need to check on the animals, but you get on with this, and I'll see you in a bit," says Trevor. Turns to walk back up to the farm. The young man smiles to himself. At least he's not the only one who's feeling a little bit worse for wear today, but he feels a little bit bad about the fact that Trevor's already been to work and now he's asking him to do more on the farm. But after all, that is part of the arrangement. Trevor doesn't pay any rent, he simply helps out by feeding the animals instead, but in many ways it feels more like he's a partner on the farm rather than a farm hand, although in strict business terms that is indeed what he is. But there's not much left on the field, so the young man's just got to finish off the last bale or two here, and then it'll be time to get them loaded up. While the young man is working on the field, Trevor is climbing into the bobcat. Needs to get a little bit of animal clean-out duties done, and at least now he's got a shovel to get the worst dealt with and get some silage feed back into the cattle after they broke open the silage pit. So it seems to be working. It's quite a good little machine actually. Just takes a little bit of getting used to for Trevor to figure out exactly how the controls are, but this is pretty good. He smiles to himself. Nippy little thing. Easy to move around in here with the cattle. Henry also notices that the sheep could do with a little bit of a clean out. They are spending most of their time outdoors, but nonetheless it's no harm in getting the worst taking out in here as well. Scooping up a couple of grabs of silage for the cattle. Trevor is getting on with today's tasks. The young man finishes up the baling and quickly makes his way back up to the farm so he can get the bale trailer loaded on instead. This young man stops to reverse in. You realise he hasn't really asked Mike how long he could borrow the round baler for. Now that he talked to Thomas and Henry yesterday at the summer fair, and they were talking about wrapping silage bales in the autumn, it would actually be quite handy to be able to hang on to it, but he feels like Mike's actually done him quite a few favours and he needs to make sure he pays him something for lending him this machine for so long. Looks over at the fuel pump. It's a whole tank of fuel basically sitting there, but it's all contaminated, so he has to figure something out there as well. Sees Trevor climbing out of the bobcat. "How did you find it?" he shouts. Trevor smiles over and gives him a big thumbs up. "Ah, it's great, laddie. I'll get the bale spikes put on it." Young man nods and drives on to get up to the field where the bale trailer has been standing. Although the weather is beautiful right now with hardly any overcast at all, the young man did check on his phone, and it does seem like there's some rain due to move in later on today, so he really doesn't want to waste too much time, but he want to get down and get those bales picked up and undercover before they get wet. As the young man comes out of the field, he can see that Trevor's already got the bale spike gun, and he shouts to Trevor, "Do you want to head down and I'll bring the trailer?" And Trevor heads off without too much hesitation. They are going to swap when they get down to the field, so the young man can get familiar with the bobcat. Just as Trevor disappears around the corner and the young man's about to follow, his phone rings. The young man picks up his phone. "Hello?" he says. It's from the milk delivery. They're happy to declare that all his milk now no longer needs to undergo the routine testing, so the payment schedule can pick back up again and be increased over the last few months because of the contamination. He has received a reduced amount of payment for the milk because they've had to test it before they would bring it into the tanks, and everything's checked out, so he's now back on his normal payment schedule, and he's receiving £1,500 is going into his account right now, which takes his actual account, after selling all the grain and everything like that, he's now actually up to £14,764. Wow. Hey, that's actually pretty good. The young man thanks the dairy for the information and heads off feeling pretty good. Young man rolls into the field and Trevor's already out of the bobcat. Young man hops out. He looks at Trevor, who looks a little bit bemused and embarrassed almost. Is everything okay, Trevor? I just had a phone call from the dairy. We're back on full rates. That's good, lad, says Trevor, still looking a little... Well, yeah, I had a phone call too, he says. It was, the solicitors. Well, you know how we've been sending in a picture every day to show you on the farm. Oh yeah, says the young man, of course. I still think it's silly that they don't trust us any more than that. Yeah, well, you know, when we were at the at the bar yesterday, I may have snapped quite a few pictures, and we might have made some silly faces and stuff. The young man looks at Trevor. Oh, please tell me you didn't send them to the solicitors. Well, yeah, they just phoned and well, they don't really seem to have a sense of humor about these things. They just told me that they really only need one picture a day, and they'd really prefer if it involved some farming instead of drinking. The young man can't help it. Okay, he says. Well, yeah, it's a little bit embarrassing, but I think we're okay, he says. Let's crack on. The young man climbs over into the bobcat. Trevor lines up the trailer so the first bales can get on. The young man tries to align the bobcat with the first bale. He's still not quite used to the controls of this set of sort of wheels, almost tank-like steering instead, but he just managed to get it onto the spikes. Now, of course, the next bit is just to get it up on the trailer. But the lift on this bobcat actually seems perfectly decent for the trailer here. And so without too much hassle, the young man gets to work on getting bales lifted up and on to the trailer. The young man is a bit cautious in terms of how many bales he wants to try and put on each side to begin with. He's still getting used to the controls, but it seems to be working. And although, of course, it would be nice to have his Massey Ferguson front loader functional and on the farm, this has been a huge help from Thomas and Henry. He almost doesn't know how he can thank them. It doesn't take the young man too long to get quite familiar with the controls, and he's got 6 bales up on it. He shouts through to Trevor, "I think I'm gonna see if I can reach up on the next level." And actually, the reach on this thing is perfectly adequate to get another layer stacked in on top. So they press on. And before too long, the young man is bringing the 10th bale down to bring onto the load. And the cause of so much anguish and concern seems to have evaporated from him, as they well and truly seem to be back on track. Young man hops out of the skid steer so he can get some straps put on the bales to go up the road. "Okay," shouts to Trevor. "I'm gonna have to follow you, so we can get them unloaded up at the shed." Trevor looks down and nods. "All right! This isn't too bad. Not taking too long at all. And then we're gonna have a rest afterwards, aren't we? My head's still a bit sore." The young man grins up at Trevor. "Oh, you've earned it. You've earned it. Not long now," he says. The young man pulls into the yard a little bit after Trevor has arrived. It's still going to be tight in here, but actually, this bobcat is almost possible to spin around on a plate. And it should actually be possible to start unloading more or less directly at the gate here. After a while of tight maneuvering, the young man and Trevor finally gets the bales navigated into the barn. Turns out that the bobcat is really handy for turning around inside this quite tight barn, and so it's now possible to get the straw bales separately stacked away from the hay bales, so that come winter it will be easier when they gotta go and pick some up. Young man is still a little bit heavy-handed on the controls sometimes, but with a little bit of careful effort, puts down the last bale so they can get back down to the field and get on with collecting the next ones. Trevor's heading down the long end of the field, and you can see the young man's already getting ready to lift the next one when he notices that the fuel gauge on the tractor is starting to look pretty low. It's probably okay for now, he says to himself. I'll wait till the young man comes over. The young man moves in to drop the first bale when Trevor signals to him to come over. So he quite quickly and adeptly drops the first one on and then hops out. "What is it, Trevor?" we're starting to run low on fuel, laddie. I think I'm gonna have to go over to the actual fuel station. We kinda used the stuff up on the farm. Young man nods. Okay, I'll get the trailer hooked up for you. Would you mind bringing me, I don't know, a cold can of something while you're over there? Aye, sure, laddie, grins Trevor as he rolls off to the fuel station. Trevor's at the fuel pump, having just filled up the Massey, when he sees Helen come walking over. Oh, hey, young lady, how's it going? He shouts. Helen walks up. Hi, Trevor. Yes. Oh boy, it was a bit of a lively night last night, wasn't it? Trevor grins. Oh, you can say that. You and the young man canoodling in the corner. Helen blushes deeply. Yeah, well, that's... I saw you come by and I actually wanted to ask you, has he said anything? Trevor smiles. To be honest, he hasn't really had the time to say anything. We're busy getting the bales lifted up, but, well, why don't I, suggest that he comes down and, you know, sees you when we're done? Helen blushes. Yeah, well, I guess I should come up and check on the sheep, but I don't know. Trevor grins. Don't worry, lassie. I sorted them out already. They're doing fine. I better get going again. We got one more load of bales to do, but I'll make sure the young man comes and sees you. In a very unusual fashion for Helen, she seems a bit shy, quiet almost. Okay, she says. I'd like that. See you, Trevor. Trevor climbs back on the tractor and giggles a bit to himself. Oh, young love. Well, she seems to be genuinely smitten with the young man. He smiles to himself. Better see what I can do. It doesn't take too long before Trevor is back from the fuel station with the Massey fully fueled again. It obviously costs a bit more to buy it off a fuel station than it does to simply get it by contract on a larger tank on the farm itself. The young man waves at Trevor and helps him get the trailer hooked back on again so they can get on with the work. Trevor throws down a cold can of Coke to the young man. There you go! Thanks, grins the young man. We better get cracking. Oh yeah, just one thing I forgot before you crack on with it, he shouts. You better go see Helen tonight. She's got something important to discuss with you. The young man suddenly blushes. Yes, yeah. I'll definitely need to do that. I need a shower first. Trevor grins. Oh, aye, that you do. That you do indeed. The young man climbs back in the bobcat and hurries on with the job at hand. After Trevor told the young man that Helen wanted to see him, it seems like he's working faster and more focused than ever before. And it doesn't take long before the remaining 6 bales are loaded onto the trailer and they can get up and get them put into the shed as well. Trevor pulls ahead of the young man in the bobcat, heading up. I'll see you up there, he just manages to shout. As the Massey does move quite a bit faster than the bobcat. It's a little bit low under the trees here, but now that they don't have a second layer of bales on, it should be okay to come out this way. And indeed, it is. Trevor has taken that turn many a time before. First, when he was working with the young man's uncle here on the farm, which he has done for many a year, and now working together with the young man, and it pleases him. As the young man is pulling out to follow Trevor up to the shed, he suddenly sees a black car come zooming across the road. The young man sees the black car shooting up the road at a very high speed, and even down here with the engine running, he can hear the horns blaring. He's getting concerned that something's happened, so he quickly decides to turn up to see what's going on. He pulls up and stops the bobcat and jumps out. Out steps the counsellor.
Oh, hello, young man. It's so good to see you again.
Oh, it's you, says the young man. I wasn't really expecting you so soon.
Oh, well, why put off decisions when there's good decisions to be made?
Says the counsellor with a very big smirk on his face. Ah, yes, well, says the young man. You're right. I have made my decision.
Good,
says the counsellor, starting to fumble in his suitcase.
There's only a couple of pieces of paper to sign here.
No, you're mistaken, says the young man. My decision is I'm not taking your offer.
What?
Says the counsellor with a truly astonished face on his head. I know it's a lot of money, he says, but this was my uncle's farm and, well, farming is going to stay here on BallinCraig. That's my final decision.
Huh!
Grumps the counsellor, and suddenly his eyes narrows.
Well, I hope for you that you have made the right decision and that you will not experience more accidents on this farm. You seem rather prone to it.
Are you threatening me? The young man.
No, I am just highly disappointed,
shouts the counsellor and throws himself back into the car. Without any care or attention, the counsellor aggressively slings his car out, almost hitting the young man and his bobcat as he races down the road, tearing off, obviously angry about the decision. The young man stands looking bemused as the dust slowly settles after the counsellor driving away so erratically. It's as if a huge weight lifts off his chest. Huh, he says to himself. I just turned down more than £500,000, he says to himself, looking out over the lands. This land is gonna stay as a farm. I mean to keep it that way, he says, determined. Yeah, that feels like the right decision, he said. It really does. And without too much time to really think about it, the young man's got to get back into his bobcat, get turned around and get up and help Trevor before he starts wondering what has happened to him. And so with the young man setting off to help Trevor with the last load of bales of the summer, that is the end of today's episode. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you very much to everybody who took part in the vote. As I said at the beginning of the episode, it was unanimous. Everybody wanted to see the young man stay and fight on here on BallinCraig. So that is indeed what he's going to be doing in the coming episodes. But for now, it's thank you very much from Overcord Gaming, and see you again soon.